You're probably all familiar what this is. This is a Lego building block. I used to love them when I was a kid. It's a simple building block, yet you can build whatever you can imagine. And But then you move on in life. So we go further, and these things, they move to the attic and later on in the bin. And when they are there, they're going to a landfill, where they won't degrade for centuries to come. But why is that? This is because building blocks are made from plastic, a durable material that is made up of even smaller building blocks, called monomers. These monomers, smaller monomers. So these monomers stick tightly together and thereby prevent any degradation from happening. So every generation of children is adding more and more building blocks onto this ever-growing pile. But how do we stop this pile from growing? One solution might be bioplastic. But how could bioplastic help us to achieve this? In order to assess this, we have to go through the whole life cycle of bioplastic, from when it's first produced, then used, and finally refused. So let's start at the beginning. Unlike regular plastic, bioplastic is not made out of fossil fuels, but renewable biomass, which can be anything from straw to wood or even biological waste materials. And then, when we use it, it might add even newer properties. So for example, when you get stitches after surgery, these bioplastic filaments will dissolve in your body over time, and therefore you don't need to have them painfully removed afterwards. And when we refuse them, these building blocks aren't connected as tightly together as the regular plastic, so bacteria and physical influence can break them down into smaller pieces until it's finally ingested by the natural cycle, and it might even fertilize the next generation of bioplastic. But if bioplastic is so great, why isn't it everywhere? The biggest problem is that the plastic we use nowadays has been optimized and developed for decades, and the other thing is it's super cheap. So in order to fill this gap, we created new materials. They are also called bioplastics, but the problem is they are bio-based, but can't be biodegradable or aren't biodegradable, or vice versa, where they are from fossil fuels, but biodegrade. But researchers and the technology has been speeding up over the last few years to finally give us the bioplastic that is truly good for our future and will finally stop this pile from growing, so we don't end up in a blockalypse. Thank you.